And yet I just held him in compassion the whole way through. You're not doing it. You're not forgiving for them. You're forgiving for you. So you lower your own stress level and you create a wonderful life. There are people who have injured you, but you're bigger than them when you have compassion on them and you move past them. So often we find people move into that perspective of compassion for the perpetrator. And that's the adult perspective. When you are a child, when you are 3, 4, 5, 7, 9 years old, you don't have any power. You're just at the mercy of the crazy adults around you. When you're 35, 45, you have power. And so you have this powerful adult. If somebody says something mean to you, you walk away. You couldn't do that when you were 3 and it was your mother or your father or your older brother or your cousin. So you have power now. And as you have compassion, you are reclaiming the adult perspective. And your job essentially as an adult, once you turn 18, 19, 25, 35, is you are reparenting your own wounded child. And until you complete that process, again, you're going to be dragging elements of your past around with you. And research shows that people who don't do that have dramatic health consequences. This was a massive study started in the early 1990s called the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study. And they found that people who had adverse childhood experiences, like that woman I worked with whose father burst in and grabbed her and her brother, people who had those experiences of their parents fighting, of divorce, of a mental illness in the family, those people have much higher levels of cancer, heart disease, hepatitis, obesity, all kinds of other illnesses. And these illnesses show up in their 50s. So these events happened a half century before, and now 50 years later, they're showing up as cancer, heart disease, and other killers. So it is so important to go back and deal with your past and reparent yourself and move that adult perspective to forgive, to have compassion. Those people were doing their best, even though it may have been short-sighted and had a lot of problems to it, but they were doing their best. And when we move into that compassionate perspective, we're taking the stance of the adult and saying, okay, I am a powerful person right now, and I'm going to go in and heal that childhood trauma and not drag that burden around with me any longer. And it also produces a dramatic effect on our health and longevity. So we give ourselves this huge gift by doing exactly what you say.